This is the Brewers POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Milwaukee Brewers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Quinn Priester, what a day. Have about 11 strikeouts, 7 scoreless. The Brewers keep on rolling. Not one, not two, but 4 straight for your Brewers, and 8 of their last 9 have become victorious. And Joey Ortiz, also for your Brewers, we'll discuss him going yard. Never really stood a chance if you're the Colorado Rockies today. This team is locked in, and so are you. Welcome to the Locked On Brewers postcast. My name is Brandon Stein. You can follow me on X at Brandon_Stein and follow all of my work over at WTMJ.com, where we cover all of your Wisconsin sports teams. Thank you for always making Locked On Brewers part of your day each and every day. Remember, guys, you can listen to the Locked On Brewers postcast wherever you get podcasts, Apple, Google, Spotify, all those wonderful podcast apps, as well as over on YouTube. Just go to that search bar, type in Locked On Brewers, hit that subscribe button, hit that little notification bell, get notified when we go live, and we got lots to discuss as Quinn Priester, newsflash, spoiler alert, whatever you want to call it, going to be your player of the game today. The scrappy offense for this Milwaukee Brewers continues to stay hot. Bryce Terrain had a handful of hits. Jackson Chourio had a couple of hits. A couple of hit streaks for your Brewers extended. We'll discuss that. And my message, once again, for this Brewers team, we'll get right into it right away. Go for the sweep tomorrow. The Colorado Rockies are reeling, and the Milwaukee Brewers are surging. 8 of their last 9 games have been victorious. The Brewers now 11 games over 500, 47 and 36. A game and a half out of first place in your National League standings are your Milwaukee Brewers. Where we were a month and a half ago to where we are now has been quite a roller coaster and lots to discuss. Let's quickly get into your scoring summary tonight as well. I should also mention for you guys, your thoughts, your comments, your reactions, always welcomed on the program as well. Just drop a comment in the YouTube chat, and we will get to all of your reaction as the Brewers beat the Rockies 5-0 today for their 4th straight win. And it didn't take long for this Brewers team to get right on the board. Bryce Terrain with an infield single in the first inning. That would score Jackson Chourio. And Rhys Hoskins, who a lot of us, including myself, have been calling to be better at the plate, needing a little bit more consistent production. I think you got to go all the way back to really when the Brewers, rattled off 8 in a row and where Rhys was really feeling good at the plate. You thought in that first inning he may have opened up the game. Maybe a tick on the trademark there for Rhys Hoskins off the bat. Just missed what would have been a grand slam, which would have given the Brewers quite the advantage in that first inning. It was a sacrifice fly, really, really deep to, I guess, left center. It was more center field where the fence extends a little bit. But that would be a sacrifice fly. That would give the Brewers a 2-0 advantage. You got to go to the 4th inning, and Joey Ortiz, man, how vital has Joey Ortiz been? You really get into before the Ortiz bat where Caleb Durbin gets a hit, he gets on board, and then Joey Ortiz comes up 406 feet to left center field. Was an absolute no-doubter. I think the left fielder for Colorado maybe took, I don't know, a step or two, Hilliard that is, maybe a step or two, turned around and watched that thing fly off the bat for Joey Ortiz. 5 home runs now for Joey Ortiz on the season. 3 of them have come in the last 4 games for Joey Ortiz. So starting to feel better and more confident at the plate is Joey Ortiz. And we talked about the bottom of that lineup for your Milwaukee Brewers. 3 for 8 tonight combined between Caleb Durbin and Joey Ortiz. It doesn't sound too sexy, with the 3 for 8, but they're producing, they're getting their runs batted in, they're getting on base, they're giving those guys at the top of the order, Sal Frelick, Jackson Chourio, Christian Yelich, they're giving them opportunities, and the Brewers are taking advantage and jumping on starting pitching early and often, and something we have always kind of stressed, certainly in April, certainly in May when this team was struggling, that they just weren't doing. And they had, I can remember a handful of games where this team had starting rotation for other opposing teams on the ropes early, and they just couldn't get the ball in play, or they would ground into a double play, or they would strike out or pop out, and they just couldn't move anybody on base. It's not been the case for your Milwaukee Brewers. They continue to do well offensively. We had talked about the numbers in June, specifically in regards to this Milwaukee Brewers, where they've had 4 or more runs scored an inning, throughout Major League Baseball. It's the best in Major League Baseball in that stretch since June 12th. So not a wide, very big sample size, but it kind of goes to show you that when this team is starting to click, and we're starting to see it click. Today was a very good example of it clicking. We had talked about yesterday, it wasn't the greatest Jose Quintana start. I made the case that I thought I was still impressed because he didn't have his best stuff, but it wasn't his best start. He talked about it after the game. Pat Murphy had talked about it after the game. Bullpen, okay. Abner Uribe coming in and giving up a few runs. We had talked about, man, it just didn't feel like everything was kind of clicking. Was not the case today for your Milwaukee Brewers. Bryce Train then once again in the 5th inning, he would double to center. That would score William Contreras. That would give the Brewers 5, and that would be all they would need en route to a 5-0 win over the Colorado Rockies. 11 games over 500, 47-36, also 11 games over 500 at American Family Field at 27-16. But back real quickly to my point that I was making previously. Pat Murphy had talked about it. A number of guys in the clubhouse have talked about it. And it came to a point where today I think was one of the best examples we have seen out of this Brewers team. This might be one of the best games we see from the Milwaukee Brewers throughout the course of this season. And I know it's hard to say because of the things Jacob Misiorowski has done and the things we had seen Logan Henderson do and things that Sal Frelick and Jackson Chourio were doing at the plate. But the Brewers absolutely dominated this game from start to finish. 1 hit allowed from your starting pitching and your bullpen for your Milwaukee Brewers. The Colorado Rockies finishing with a single hit. I mean, Priester, 4 Ks for Quinn Priester in his first 8 batters. And without further ado, and again, I don't think anybody's going to debate this. I don't think anybody's going to argue this. I don't think anybody's going to also be surprised at this. But let's get into your player of the game in the Milwaukee Brewers 5-0 win over the Colorado Rockies for their 4th straight win.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
When the trade happened a couple months ago, a lot of Brewers fans were not happy with it. A lot of Brewers fans were not happy with it. Quinn Priester has been everything that this team has needed and more. He has been nothing short of fantastic for your Milwaukee Brewers. Now 6-2 on the season. A career day for Quinn Priester on the mound at American Family Field. 7 innings pitched, no runs, 1 hit, and 11 strikeouts. A career high in strikeouts, a career best for Quinn Priester on the mound. And it was a different Quinn Priester than I think I remember seeing at any part of this season. And I don't know about you guys. If you didn't watch the game, maybe go back and maybe watch some highlights, maybe rewatch the game if you're able to. The body language for Quinn Priester was different today. A little bit more loose. There was a smile. He had a play where it was a short pop up in front of the pitcher's mound where he kind of stumbled, fell, bobbled it, and then caught it and kind of smiled. He was feeling himself coming off the mound, yelling into his glove, pumped up. I mean, he was absolutely fantastic today. The first hit for the Rockies, the only hit for the Rockies, came all the way in the 5th inning where they already had an out on the board. So Quinn Priester not giving up a hit until midway through that 5th inning, and he would go 7 innings pitched today, 11 strikeouts, no hits, just that 1 hit, and he has been everything this Brewers team has needed. Remember, when the Brewers made that trade for Quinn Priester, and I know a lot of people were upset at the package that was given away for Quinn Priester, I always said pump the brakes, pump the brakes, pump the brakes. Don't look at the numbers you saw in Pittsburgh. Don't look at the numbers you saw in Boston. Let him get here. Let him get acclimated to the, Chris Hook and this coaching staff and the laboratory, the pitching lab that we talk about. Let him settle in here in Milwaukee and let's start figuring things out. And for Quinn Priester, he has been absolutely fantastic. I mean, he's going to get overshadowed because of what Jacob Misiorowski has done and what, the other pitching, Logan Henderson and how good Freddie Peralta, has been and overall how good the Brewers have been. But Quinn Priester has now won he hasn't lost since May 30th. June 22nd, Brewers won that game. June 15th, June 10th, June 4th, and May 30th. The Brewers winning all of those games that Quinn Priester has pitched in. He has been absolutely fantastic. The last time the Brewers lost in a game where Quinn Priester pitched was all the way back on May 24th. So again, in Out of those games that I mentioned, he took the win in 4 of them, including this afternoon. 5 of them, including this afternoon. So good things are happening on the mound when Quinn Priester takes the ball for your Milwaukee Brewers. As we saw today, a 5-0 win, 11 games over 500. Quinn Priester, player of the game, 7 innings pitched, no runs, 1 hit, 11 Ks. If there was a turning point in the game, I guess if we want to have a little fun with the turning point, your turning point tonight would be when Quinn Priester took the mound in the first inning, and that was it. Again, 4 strikeouts in his first 8 batters, not allowing a hit until midway through that 5th inning. That would be your turning point. The moment Quinn Priester took the ball on the mound for your Brewers, that was it for the Colorado Rockies. And then in that first inning, when the Brewers were able to tack on 2 runs, load the bases early, tack on a couple of runs, moments that, that they weren't capitalizing on early in the year, now they're certainly doing it. You give a guy like that, Quinn Priester, who's been absolutely dealing over the last month or so, an early lead and early run support, and boom, settles into a game and absolutely dominates the Colorado Rockies. He is now 6-2 on the season, and the Brewers 47-36. Your thoughts, your reaction, the things you'll be talking about coming up right after this. Today's show is brought to you by Gametime. Have you ever decided at the last minute to head to a ball game with friends or family? Maybe it's game day and you suddenly realize you want to be in the stands. That is exactly where Gametime comes in. The easiest way to grab last-minute tickets without any of the stress. All the money you save on tickets because you're using the Gametime app, you can splurge on food, drinks, merch, or even invite a bigger group to come with you. And Gametime makes it all possible. They take the buying tickets fast and simple on their app. The price is actually on the app, believe it or not. They drop closer as you get to first pitch. And they've got incredible last-minute deals, clear seat views, and the lowest price guarantee that takes the worry out of buying. I mentioned, there's one more game you can catch before the Milwaukee Brewers hit the road for a little bit. You can watch the Los Angeles Dodgers in Milwaukee as it sits right now on July 7th when they begin that series for $16. And you can almost go for free. Now, listen to this. This is how you can go for free. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Gametime. Download the app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off of your first purchase. I mentioned the Brewers tickets for that Dodger series beginning at $16. If you use code LOCKEDONMLB, you get $20 off your first purchase. You basically go for free. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Download the Gametime app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Once again, Gametime. The Milwaukee Brewers behind Quinn Priester dominating the Colorado Rockies for their 4th straight win, their 2nd over the Rockies, taking the series from Colorado. They'll go for the sweep tomorrow. They dominate this afternoon at American Family Field, 5-0. Quinn Priester, to nobody's surprise, was your player of the game. 7 innings pitched, no runs, just that 1 hit in the 5th inning. 11 strikeouts, a career best for Quinn Priester. Your thoughts, your reaction on the program. Lucas over on YouTube getting us going with a simple "Let's go Brewers." Lucas, thank you for your comment. And really, it's a very simple message that Lucas is sharing, but this is some of the best baseball really all of June that I have seen from this Milwaukee Brewers team in quite some time, all the way back to last year almost. And certainly I think they're playing better in parts they were last year. Because of the way that they're winning. This offense is different than it was a year ago. Now, it's getting better. I shouldn't say it's been consistent. We'll see, and hopefully it continues to go. And at the bottom of the order, as we talked about, Joey Ortiz with another home run, Caleb Durbin with a couple of hits, Sal Frelick continues, to hit the ball. Christian Yelich, 11-game hit streak now. Bryce Terrain, 12-game hit streak now. So both of those guys extending their hit streaks. Isaac Collins, as I mentioned on last night's show, not too long ago, he was in an 8-9 game hitting streak. Jackson Chourio starting to feel more comfortable, feeling a lot more confident at the plate. He had a couple of hits as well today. And the Brewers are just finding ways to create offense, whether it's drawing those walks. And this is how this team punishes you. They'll take their walks. The Brewers, that is. They'll take their walks. They'll get on base. They'll create havoc on the base pass. And that's exactly what we're seeing from your Milwaukee Brewers. Marcus over on YouTube, Priester the man, all capitals. Yeah, I mean, he's been fantastic. Like I said, the Brewers have won every game he's pitched in all the way back over a month ago. May 24th was the last time the Brewers lost a game in which Quinn Priester started. He has been absolutely fantastic. He has been everything this team needed. Remember when the Brewers acquired him, at one point, it was just Freddie Peralta who was the healthiest pitcher on the starting rotation, right? And a lot of people were upset. You know, they were looking at the numbers from Pittsburgh. They were looking at some of the numbers from Boston. And I get it, rightfully so. That's what you want to look at. That's the first thing you go to. You read the scouting report on him, but it's a guy that I knew once he came, you know, coming from Boston into Milwaukee, I knew when he was going to come in here and things were going to settle down for him and he wasn't forced to go out right away. And remember, a couple of those starts, they had a starter for him, which I wasn't really on board with. That has kind of shifted away from happening. You know, DL Hall and him had been paired up before. You know, we had seen Tyler Alexander, you know, start for him on a few other starts. Has not been the case as of late for Quinn Priester. I think he's starting to feel himself out in this starting rotation. And as we mentioned yesterday, guys, it's only going to get better. Nestor Cortez getting ready to go on a rehab assignment. Brandon Woodruff getting ready to go on a rehab assignment. A little bit clearer of a picture for Robert Gasser after Tommy John surgery, starting to kind of get a better idea when he's going to be back into the starting rotation. We've seen the things that Mizorowski has done. We've seen the things that Logan Henderson has been able to do. And oh, by the way, you also still have Freddie Peralta on the mound and Jose Quintana. Both of those guys have been absolute studs and pros this year for your Milwaukee Brewers. So things starting to become aligned here. And oh, by the way, the Cubs aren't also playing really good baseball right now, while you, the Milwaukee Brewers, are continuing to surge. Now 9-1 in their last 10 games. We mentioned 8 out of 9. They have won 4 in a row, including today's 5-0 win over the Colorado Rockies. Every day or Nick sweep for sure. The bats are hot, Brandon, but I'd still like another. You can never have enough bats. You can never have enough. I don't know. I guess we'll see what the price is for a bat. You know, they're never cheap, you know, depending on really who you get it from. But at any point, a bat's never going to be cheap. I don't know. I feel okay right now. I would probably agree with you 3 weeks ago, a month ago. Caleb Durbin's kind of working himself over me a little bit more. You know, 2 for 4 tonight from Caleb Durbin. He's gone opposite field a few times in this series. He's definitely gaining some confidence over at third base, offensively and defensively. Now, if the Brewers go out and acquire somebody, I know Nolan Arenado has been pinned to the Brewers. I don't ever foresee that happening. I believe a couple of insiders for ESPN and maybe The Athletic had that as a possible fit. I don't see it for multiple different reasons. Contract, number one, but also in the division, I don't see that. But right now, Ryan McMahon, you know, we'd seen, you know, what he's able to do for Colorado was also a name associated to the Milwaukee Brewers. I don't want to ruin anything right now. I want to enjoy the vibe that this team is rolling in on. You know, Joey Ortiz with the new haircut. If you haven't seen Joey Ortiz's haircut, Google it. Find it on social media if you can. A couple of the Brewers, I think it was Terrain and I think Bowers gave him a haircut. Like, the team's just feeling good right now. Like, they're playing good. They're playing loose, and they're doing the things we had not seen them do earlier in the year. They're doing it, and what a coincidence. You're winning ball games. And a couple, you know, you have the Dodgers coming up, but a couple series before the Dodgers, including the Mets and Marlins. Mets not playing great. Marlins not playing great. And still many opportunities for this Brewers team. Benno over on YouTube. I was dead set on getting a bat on the left side of the infield at the deadline, but Joey O and Derby are sure making it that a lot tougher. Benno, I didn't even see your comment, you know, when I made that comment about Derby. I'm with you, like completely with you. Obviously, I'm not, you know, before I was researching contracts and I was on Spot Track, you know, trying to figure out who could the Brewers go get, you know, who's available. I haven't done it quite some time because the confidence between and man, you know, that 2 home run game from Joey Ortiz a few nights ago has really kind of, I think, allowed him to relax at the plate. Defensively, he's amazing. I mean, the play he made last night, I know it wasn't today, but it was last night where he's reaching for the ball from William Contreras from behind the plate. While he's diving for the ball, he makes the tag, you know, simultaneously. He has just been so good defensively, and now he's starting to kind of feel better at the plate. I think things are trending in the right direction now. We'll see, you know, eventually, you know, what they do come trade deadline, but I think this is going to be the team that we have when the trade deadline is, you know, before the trade deadline and after. Ben over on YouTube, they keep this next couple of series going. I kind of hate to see all the All-Star break come. Yeah, you don't want to ruin the momentum that the Brewers are creating. They still have a little bit of time, but it's always good to kind of get a break, especially as all of you guys know how long the MLB season is. So it'll come at a good time, I think, for the Brewers. Right now, great opportunities lay in front of them to kind of continue on where they're going. We talked about their upcoming series against the Mets, who have not been really good, the Marlins, who have not been really good. Then they'll come back home to play the LA Dodgers. So a great test coming up for the Brewers. Even with the Mets not playing good, with what they have offensively that comes to the plate, it's going to be a good test on the road for the Brewers. And then you come back home after that Marlins series to take on the Dodgers, which will also be another test and kind of give you an idea where this Brewer team sits in the National League as far as, playing, some of the top dogs. I know the Mets aren't great, but they're still a really good team, and the LA Dodgers. The Brewers getting the 5-0 win over the Rockies, 11 games over 500, 47-36, 5-0 today. Quinn Priester getting your player of the game, 7 innings pitched, no runs, just that one hit in the 5th inning and 11 strikeouts as they win their 4th in a row and their 8th in their last 9 games. The good times certainly rolling on for your Milwaukee Brewers. That'll do it for today's show. My thanks to all of you for always tuning in. Thank you, as always, for making Locked On Brewers part of your day each and every day. Remember, wherever you get podcasts, you can get Locked On Brewers, Apple, Google, Spotify, all those wonderful apps. And you can just go on YouTube, go to that search bar, type in Locked On Brewers, hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up button for me, hit that notification bell, and get notified when we go live, and we will break down the Brewers all season long. And hopefully we have more wins to talk about. I foresee more wins to be talked about, including tomorrow, an early afternoon game against the Rockies, as the Brewers will go for the sweep. As always, my name is Brandon Snide. Thank you. You can follow me on X at Brandon_Snide. Win, lose, or draw, regardless of the outcome, it is always go Brewers. Have a good one, everyone.